In this matter,
Yeah.
I'm acting directly on behalf of the family.
The sister and the mother
Yes.
in India?
Yes.
Okay, great. And also, is it correct, do you still represent Mehul Choksi?
I do, yes.
Yeah, I thought you were the same person. So I just wanted to ask, what was the actual reason given why there was no inquest and no autopsy?
So
The
the documents we have from the coroner simply say that West Midlands Police have concluded it's not a mysterious or it's not an unnatural death. And you've heard about the length.
So the police gets to decide?
The police have told the coroner that, and she decided based on that there was no suspicion in relation to this.
And that meant no inquest?
And that means no
But
inquest.
can you not have an autopsy even if you don't have an inquest?
In regards to the post-mortem procedure, as has been explained to you by Jazz here, there was a request for a private post-mortem to take place, and there were steps were put in place which made that very difficult. The freezing of the body, not wanting to host the body in the hospital where it was, forcing the family to find somewhere else to take it. So there were all these hurdles which were put in place, which the inquest or inquiry would have to look into. But it's not for, in English law, it's not for families to have to investigate their own loved ones' deaths.
Yeah,
It's not for the family to have to do it. The question goes directly. Excuse me.
How come they didn't do one that wasn't private, just
A public one.
Yeah.
We don't know.
They
that.
just refused.
They just refused,
Yeah.
based on the West Midlands Police?
The coroner's written communication was, I don't feel need for it.
For the post-mortem?
Yeah.
So you actually need permission for that from the coroner?
Yeah.
And so you've now requested an inquest from the chief coroner?
Yes.
What's the process now? How long does it take for them to reply? What are the options that might happen now?
So there's no set process in regards to timings.
Yeah.
Under Section 3, the Chief Coroner has the power to order an inquest and to order it to take place in a different area. From hearing what we were saying today, both from me and from the community, you'll now understand why we don't think the West Midlands Coroner should be given this task, because if there's going to be criticism potentially of the way things were carried out, the West Midlands Coroner may be an interested party to the actual inquest or inquiry. So it needs to go to a different area, and it needs to have a different investigatory police force. It can't be the West Midlands Police investigating it because of the lack of trust from the Sikh community and the West Midlands Police Force. And coming back to the same point, they may be interested parties if they're going to be criticised by the inquest or inquiry for the way they carried out things, and therefore to have them investigating while for the inquest or the inquiry at the same time as being one of the parties would be improper. So we think the whole thing needs to be moved, both the investigation of it and the inquest and inquiry needs to come to a different area. A senior judge needs to be appointed. Therefore, if it turns into a public inquiry, the whole thing can continue with a senior judge sitting.
And what happens now? Does the chief coroner just make a decision, yes or no?
Yes, so we should receive a decision from the chief coroner. We've provided all the evidence you've heard today. And as I've said, the bar is very low to order an inquest, and we say there is suspicion here. We don't know how long it would take. Of course, we want to give a fair opportunity for the chief coroner to have a look at things. He may not know about the case at all.
You sent him the evidence?
Yes, we've written to them today. And you mentioned the Choksi case when you asked questions there, and I think it's important to answer a question on that. In the Choksi case, Mehul Choksi was abducted from Antigua and taken to Dominica in an attempt to unlawfully render him back to India. And in this case, there is evidence, and strong evidence, that the gang involved was British residents gang, some British nationals and others who were just residents of the United Kingdom. We've provided evidence to the National Crime Agency about that operation. We've provided evidence to West Midlands Police about those members of the gang who come from the Birmingham area. So not only were they on notice from the Indian authorities about Avtar and from the community about what was going on, they're also on notice from us that this was going on in the United Kingdom. And you start with kidnappings and you end up with much more serious cases such as this one and such as the Canadian, what's happened in Canada.